Hi there, flutes. This video is going to help you review how you make a sound with your head joint and where to put your fingers and make a sound on your flute. So you're going to need to start with your head joint here. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit more so that there's a little more focus. You can see where I'm at. So remember, with our head joint, we're blowing across the hole. We're not trying to blow down into it. We're trying to split our air going across. When we're blowing, we want to blow not through a big opening, but through a very small opening. And the way that we set our lips here is called our embouchure. Say that, embouchure. E-M-B, embouchure. So when you blow, you can see how small that hole is. Very, very tiny. The lip plate of the flute head joint is coming right here to my lip. I'm not pressing it really tight, but it is resting on my lip. And then the bottom corner of the circle, I can feel right here on my bottom lip. Now notice that if my head joint is too high, it's not making a sound. Too low, not making a sound. There's a spot right there. Also, if it's too far out, or in, too far one way, or the other. So you have to kind of move it around to find that spot that's the perfect spot for you to make that sound. And then sustain that. Once you've got that sound, you can cover the end and get a low sound. And a little faster and get a really high sound. And just get the regular open sound. And hold it for a really long time like that. That's going to take a little bit of practice to be able to do. It's not something you get right away, and you have to kind of experiment to find that spot that works for you. So hopefully seeing that with mine helps you see how that works. Now, when you're putting your flute together, remember that the hole here of the head joint is going to line up all with this line of keys. So when I look down my flute, I can see that it's all lined up along these keys here. My foot joint, the pinky key right here, which is the top of the foot joint, that's the pinky key. That is going to line up with these rods. So here's the rods coming down, and you can see the pinky key comes right here. So these buttons here on the end are not going to line up with any other keys here. Okay, to set my fingers, I'm going to start with my right hand. My pinky is going to rest on the pinky key, and the other three fingers are going to come right there. Now the best thing to do then is to turn your flute up and down. When you do that, it's going to force you to get your left hand in the correct position. And that way when you bring your flute to you, you have both your hands in the right position. This is correct. This is wrong. A lot of times flute players try to grab it from underneath, and when you do that, you have both of your hands waving at you. When you play the flute, your left hand is waving at you, your right hand is waving away from you. And so when you pick up your flute, if you hold it up and down the way you would hold a recorder and then bring it to your face, it's a lot easier to get those hands in the right position. Because if you have your flute, if you're holding your flute like this and then you hold it up and down, you feel kind of like a pretzel. And you go, oh, I'm going to fix that. And then it gets back here. So that's how it needs to be. For your left hand position, we put our thumb on this key right here in the back. And then pinky is going to go on this little key right here, but we're not going to press that key down. We don't want to use that one for only one specific note. So then our third finger is next to our pinky, our second finger is next to our third finger. Then we're going to skip a key right here. Our pointer finger is going to go right there, and then we're going to skip the top key. So if we were starting from the top, we would skip, finger, finger. Okay, and my fingers are big and fat. Your fingers are, I know, a lot skinnier. So it's probably easier to see it, okay? So again, this is where fingers are gonna go on our flute, and then this is how the flute is gonna be held here. When we make a sound on the flute, it's a little trickier to find that same spot that we had with our head joint. But you have to be able to find that spot, and then what you can do is you can put your fingers down. So start with your thumb and one finger like we would do B, and that's actually B on the flute. And as you add fingers going down, it goes lower. And that's that's called the waterfall, when we're adding those fingers. So the only one I'm not using is this pinky. So I'm doing pointer finger, third finger, ring finger, pointer finger, middle finger, ring finger, and adding that down. As you do that, if it pops up to a high note, that's okay, just as long as you're getting different sounds as you add those fingers. We always start from this end of the flute and add fingers down. If we move fingers here without putting these fingers down, nothing happens. We have to make the flute longer by adding our fingers here. So try that with me, just adding fingers one at a time. See if you can match my sound. So press one finger and your thumb and your pointer finger, and it'll sound like this. Match that sound. Then add another finger. And remember, when you add that second finger, skip the key. So these two fingers are separated. So first finger, second finger, separated. Another finger. See if you can get those three notes. And then add the right hand. Okay, and the pinky helps you balance here. So this key, you can keep this pinky key down, because between the pinky pressing down and this thumb pressing up, you get a balance on your flute. So hopefully that helps you just review how you blow and get the sound on your flute.